All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Racha HaKodash, okay, which is the true name of the Heavenly Father and His Son. We believe through faith, okay? Not Yahuwah, not Ahaya, not none of this other crazy mess you people want to say, okay? Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. It's even closely transliterated into English with Jehovah, except we know there were no J's, no V's, there's no O's, okay? And so, it's not or there's no E's, like what they say, Yahweh. That's not it, okay? It's Yahweh. And I want to start, this, as you can see, this is the Minister of Wellness. I'll start this off by saying he's on to something when it comes to the G-bombs. Okay, when it comes to reversing sicknesses and illnesses with the medicine foods of the Most High, yes, this is the way to reverse sicknesses. Okay, now ultimately, the Lord has to grant you, right, the healing. All right, but yes, the way to regain your strength and to heal your body is through the medicine foods of God. It's in the Bible, okay? But this is the thing. Everything is to be done with balance. Let's get this scripture right here, right? All right, and for somebody who doesn't believe, this isn't gonna mean anything to you anyway. All right. But as Proverbs 11:1 says, a false balance is an abomination unto Yahweh. When you see this in all caps, okay, it says, let's go see what it says in the blue letter. Okay, I don't want to deviate too far. All right, but this is a part of the rebuke on this guy. Okay, Minister of Wellness. All right, which he appears to shave his head razor bald. All right, and which is not permissible according to the law, but you say it's inconsequential. Okay, but at the end of the day, the Lord set up a standard. Okay, and one of the standards is to not shave yourself bald. Okay, that's what the Lord said not to do. So for you to kind of diminish it and say it's inconsequential, maybe when you compare it to what it is that your ministry is, you might feel like it's inconsequential, but it's not. Okay, all these things are to be considered. Okay, a false balance is an abomination until the Lord. See, now here they say Yehovah. Okay, this is impossible. Yah-ha-wah-ha. Yahweh. Okay, that's what it is. Yehovah. Okay, which is close to what? Jehovah, right, in the English, but that's not it. There were no J, so that's where you get the Yah, and it wasn't no E, so it would have been Yah, not E, not U. I never forget I met somebody who believed that the name Yahuwah was, what their explanation for why they say it's Yahuwah is because when we was cavemen, we said, ooh, ooh, ooh. That ain't the dumbest shit I ever heard. Okay? It's Yahweh. You see? Jehovah, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, at the end of the day, his name's Yahweh. Okay? Now let's get back to this. Okay? As we read, a false balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. You got to understand something. You're correct when it comes to the tainting of the meats, and things are only going to get worse as we move closer to the end times. It's good for an individual to be raw vegan, and these all things are good. But you also condemn people who are at liberty if they choose to eat meat. You can't be mad at. You see what I'm saying? And also, too, you have to eat meat if you're going to rehearse the righteous acts. Okay? What did it tell you to do? All right, let's see. Let's get this right. And I haven't seen you respond to this. And I'm not seeking out your responses. I just came across this. Okay? And I ain't nobody. I'm a young, but still, this is the thing. Truth for truth's sake. Because you're an over righteous demon when it comes to certain things. You got that demon of over righteousness on you. And that's cool. If that's how you gotta be to keep yourself reined in, then that's cool. But don't teach. This is the thing about it. You got to understand something. The reason the brothers bring that scripture out is because you tell people to abstain from meats, but the Lord told us we got to eat lamb at least. If you, let's say all the rest of the year you don't eat no meat, but when it comes to the Passover, you're supposed to eat lamb. Okay, there's no substitute for the lamb. A lamb, I think you can use a goat. Look, it says, you shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats. You shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. You see? And they roast it with fire and bitter herbs, and they shall eat it. This is the Passover. This is what you do on the Passover. Okay? So you're gonna tell me that the Messiah, who we're supposed to be followers of, he didn't do this? Right? Because, you know, the Passover was what it was. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't different, man. It wasn't different, man. It was the same Passover. You see? And but except in there he had wine, you know, and everything like that. But which was symbolic. But this is the thing, you know. If you're gonna rehearse the righteous acts, let's get that. Judges 5:11. It says, they that are delivered from the noise of the archers in the places of drawing water, meaning the places of our captivity, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of Yahweh, even the righteous acts toward the inhabitants of his villages in Israel, and then shall the people of the Lord go down into the gates. So we're practicing and rehearsing the righteous acts, okay? Now, as the scriptures say, you know, don't let nobody judge you in regards to a holy day and so on and so forth. We know these precepts, but this is the thing about it. If you're going to rehearse the righteous acts, you have to eat the lamb. There's no way around it. Now, I mean, we're not, how can I put this? We're not under the new covenant. This is something that I heard minister when I started to do a video the other day, because he started talking about we're under the new covenant and we're not completely under the new covenant yet. The new covenant comes with a lot of things that have not been enacted yet. The new covenant comes with the no longer the need to teach. Even you got to teach. Minister of Wellness, you still out here trying to teach people how to eat healthy, and that's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. But you got the wrong name and you got the wrong doctrine. Just stick to the part about eating vegetables and quit telling people they can't eat meat. Now, it's good to rebuke people from eating pork, from being gluttonous. The scriptures tell you about what is it? Let's see, greedy upon meats. Okay. Sirach 37, or Ecclesiastes 37 and 29 says, be not unsatiable in any dainty thing, nor too greedy upon meats, for excess of meats bringeth sickness, and surfeiting will turn into choler. By surfeiting many have perished, and he that taketh heed prolongeth his life. So I'm actually following the G bombs, and I went and got stuff, and I'm learning about, red fruit fasts and fruit fasting and all these things from you, Minister of Wellness. But this is the thing, bro. You are going off when it comes to other stuff, and hey, if you want to rebuke me, you can. I got some extra weight I need to get off me and things like that. And I believe in what the scriptures say about medicines out of the earth and everything. You're correct on these things, but you can't go around telling bros that they can't eat meat at all. And when it says abstaining from meats, I mean, come on now. When we talked about what was going on in the shambles, See, there's a let's go to 1 Timothy. Okay. Right. 1 Timothy 4. And let's get to the point. Verse 3, forbidding to marry and commanding to abstain from meats. Now you want to say, let's get it in the blue letter since he said it. Which I don't even know if I played the video all the way. Let me look. I haven't played his rebuke yet. So some of y'all probably don't even know what the context is. I'll play it, here in a second, Lord willing, right? Because I want you to kind of understand what I went straight into rebuke mode when I started reading this. 1 Timothy, or after I listened to it, man. Because brothers have been getting on this guy for a while, and he's still not listening. So let's get this word meats. All right. It says that which is eaten. It says meat, victuals, okay, food. From the base of G977 to eat. Now, what was a big source of contention back then? Okay. A big source of contention back then. Look at that. 5 loaves, 2 fish, going by meat. My meat is to do the will. Okay. Purging all meats, right? But if a brother be grieved with thy meat, okay, destroy him not with thy meat, for whom Hamashiach perished. Okay. So now here we go. Meat destroyeth not the work of the Most High, but it's evil for the man to eat with offense, right? So maybe he's one of those guys who, for conscience sake, can't eat the meat. But you got a lot of other things to work on, because you got the wrong name, all right? His name's not Yahuwah. So anyway, we understand the contention that was that Paul spoke about, right? Where he talked about those who was weak, okay? Paul said that, let me get this. If my meat offend my brother. Okay. 1 Corinthians 8. And there you go. Verse boom. Let's get the full chapter, because all right, 1 Corinthians 8, and here we go. 8, it says, but meat commendeth us not unto the Most High, for neither if we eat are we the better, neither if we eat not are we the worse. So come on now. All right, you see what I'm saying? And of course, this is talking about things that were offered unto idols. But what was the I'm gonna ask this question. I'm gonna ask this question because I'm trying to build this case so you understand, like, there's a balance to be struck in. All right, if you sick and you have a problem, shit. If you sick, I ain't gonna use that. I'm gonna just type in what was typically sold in the shambles. Historically, a shambles was a street of butcher shops where meat was slaughtered and sold. Okay, so let's go over here to 1 Corinthians 10 and 25. You got to understand the context of what was this was a contention in the scriptures, and we'll go back to it. Okay, reading here. 1 Corinthians 10 and 25 says, whatsoever is sold in the shambles, that eat, asking no question for conscience sake. For the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Now let's continue to read. There's more context. If any of them that believe not bid you to a feast, and ye be disposed to go, whatsoever is set before you, eat, asking no question for conscience sake. Now, we understand that you got people in the Christian church that say, well, yeah, this means you can eat pork. We know that's not talking about you can eat pork. But if a piece of lamb got set in front of you, you wasn't supposed to ask them, hey, was this sacrifice unto Diana? Was this used in a ritual sacrifice to another god? Because then your conscience will be condemned, and now you in a whole nother section. Now you in a whole nother trick bag where you got to tell them, well, I can't eat this because, and now you got to come up with some reason. Or, you know, I've done that before. I've been invited to someone's house, and, you know, I was like, yeah, what y'all cooking for dinner? Now in this particular case, they were cooking pork, and I was like, I can't eat that. And I was young in the faith, so I kind of just basically told them plain out, yeah, and the Bible says blah blah blah. But I really should have said something else, because the vibe changed and they were offended. They wasn't hanging around me no more. Like, they kind of just left me in the living room at that point and went and did some more shit. And I was just like, maybe I should have told them that. Shit. You know what I'm saying? But the point is, you know, meat was something that you were allowed to eat. But you see it down here too, to proving my point. Okay. Verse 28 says, but if any man say unto you, this is offered in sacrifice unto idols, eat not for his sake that showed it, and for conscience sake. For the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. You see? Conscience, say I, not thine own, but of the other. For why is my liberty judged of another man's conscience? And for if I by grace be a partaker, why am I evil spoken of for that which I give thanks? Whether ye eat or drink, or whatsoever ye do, do all to the glory of the Most High. Okay, so at the end of the day, you know, bros is not getting on videos. As far as us at GMS, we're not getting on videos recording chicken eating contests and shit like that. We don't do that. If anything, the apostles, especially other Apostle Gabar, he'll get on there and show you healthy recipes. And a lot of them are vegetarian or kind of vegan. There might be some eggs, it might be some cheese in there, but this is the thing about it, Minister of Wellness. You know, the apostles are healthy, okay? They walk, they take, they do hikes and 4-mile walks, and they promote health and wellness, all right, in balance. All right, we read about the false abomination. Let's get this right. Okay, you gotta do things, and you know, Ecclesiastes 7:16 says, "Be not righteous over much, neither make thyself over wise. Why shouldest thou destroy thyself? Be not over much wicked, neither be thou foolish. Why shouldest thou die before thy time?" So this is a balance issue. All right. You know, economically, you know, when you think about what it requires to do a full fruit fast, it requires a lot of planning, preparation. It requires consistency and discipline. And, you know, there's certain things that you get that are highly perishable. You get a big thing of lettuce, there's a shelf life on that joint. You got to eat that joint quick. You got to know how to, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's, you know, it's aspects and factors. You can't just be letting, you know, you might go get a thing of strawberries and, you know, 2 days later, that thing moldy, you know what I'm saying? And it didn't look like that when you left the store. So there's like certain levels. So sometimes you might, or let's say for sustainability reasons, somebody might want to get chicken breast. You know, that's not the devil. If somebody get a chicken breast marinated, make a big salad and put a little bit of meat in there, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. All right. Now, as we move forward in these evil times, we may come across certain things, but you know, there might be contaminations and this and that. And but come on, man, you like, you know, like you being over righteous, you being righteous over much and making yourself over wise. All right. But yeah, for extreme cases of needing to reverse health, hey man, the G bombs, they're, you know, they're where it's at. It's good. That's a good thing, you know. And I believe in the G bombs, and I'm going to use the G bombs. But you kind of ruin it with this. I'm gonna hit play.
So in Proverbs 3:5-8 clearly states, "Trust in the Lord with all of your heart, lean not upon your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, he shall direct your paths. Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil. It will bring what? Health to your body, strength to your bones."
So if the Bible tells you that in moderation you can eat meat. If the Bible commands you, hey, during the Passover specifically, you got to eat lamb meat, then why are you trusting in your own understanding, Minister of Wellness, by saying no meat, no meat, no meat, no meat, evil, 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 when the Lord said, hey, on the Pesach, you got to eat some lamb. At the least. Do you eat? I don't know. Do you eat lamb on the Passover? I don't know.
It will.
And your head look real shiny, man. You know, it's one thing if you take a clippers and you zero it out, or really I don't really zero it out. I actually use your clippers are adjustable, and there's like a centimeter of separation you can put between flat blade and, you see what I'm saying? They got that little lever on the side of most clippers where you can kind of give it a little bit of a built-in guard. I fully extend that guard. If I'm going to cut my hair down to the lowest, I fully extend the guard and then I cut my shit. And so there's still a small layer of hair. It just might be hard to see. But the scriptures tell you not to shave your head bald. And the scriptures tell you this. I'm going to get it. It says what? He that breaketh the least commandment. You know where I'm going with this. Matthew 5:19, straight out of the words of the Messiah. Yahushua. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven. So we're going to do to the best of our ability and teach you to keep the commandments. And right now you're creating a commandment. You're commanding to abstain from meats. That's your commandment. And you're trying to shame people for partaking in things that the Lord never said not to partake of. There were meat sacrifices from the beginning. What was the Abel and Cain contention about? If Cain sacrificed vegetables and the Lord was displeased, what did Abel sacrifice? And what happened to the meat after it got sacrificed? Because during the times of the Levitical priests, after the sacrifice was done, didn't they eat the meat? Or did they throw it away? I'm pretty sure they ate it. So I'm just saying, man, you gotta go ahead, play, man.
This is a health promise. So if the black Hebrew Israelites are really better than the black Christians,
and why put that black in front of it?
Then it should show in their health and in their strength.
And you got black Hebrew Israelites, you got Hebrew Israelites. We're gonna put that damn black in front of it. You got Hebrew Israelites that need to still learn. You got them that know that and he's one of them. You got them that have the skin, meaning they have their identity, but they don't have the breath in them.
One black Hebrew Israelite church in America that I can go to, and I'll see people in their hundreds and they're healthy and strength to the bones. Show me. Where? You can't show me one. Them Negroes just as fat and sick as the Christian brothers and sisters.
And you're not wrong, all right? You know, there's unhealthiness, in these different, which when you say church, I mean, I kind of get to he's been to these different churches and spoken on panels, and you really ain't gonna catch. Now, majority speaking, there's not too many brothers that are that appear to be unhealthy in GMS. You don't really see a lot of. I'm a big dude. I might see one or maybe a few more sprinkled, but really mostly I see healthy brothers. At least they appear to be healthy.
They're arguing over,
and health is pushed hugely among GMS.
They're arguing over inconsequential theologies.
See what I mean? He's calling these commandments almost as if they don't matter, which these are the things that please the Lord. The scriptures tell us the things that are pleasing unto the Lord are made known unto us, which is a blessing. But let this guy tell it. It's inconsequential and it doesn't matter.
Yahuwah, Lord, Yeshaya, Haya,
And he believes in that first name.
Shar, Haya, Yeshua, Yahushua, tassels or no tassels, beards or no beards. And these are fickle matters.
These are matters of the law which, for truth's sake, need to be spoken of so you understand what the standard is and what the Lord wants from us. And there's mercy in the things that you can't do. But if you disregard, the simple request of the Lord, why should he listen to you when you have complex requests? Something that's simple to adhere to, growing your beard. Something that's simple to adhere to, not taking a razor to your head. Okay, you can shave it down. Like I said, my hair is shaved down low. I use my clippers with the built-in guard. I didn't put no extra guard. I used the built-in guard fully extended to get, so that way I'm not completely, shave.
These are non-consequential issues.
So why would you make, Paul speaks about this. He says, does the faith make the law of God of none effect? God forbid. So if it's in the law, you gotta have that balance, man. Be not righteous over much, because we can't keep it 100%, but we rehearse the righteous acts and we try to keep them. This attitude of, hey, it don't matter. You talking about friends and the beards, man, it don't matter. Well, I mean, it does matter, but okay. That's not the mindset of the elect. Let's say that.
But then as soon as you bring up food, then they all want to run to Paul. Then they all want to talk about the blood of Jesus when you tell they fat, sick behind to start to put them burgers down.
I mean, hey, burgers ain't, hey, you can put a burger down. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Shouldn't be eating fast food. But if a brother do it, it's not advisable. That's all. It's not advisable. If you do it, that's your decision. But
all of a sudden, all of those tassels and stuff goes out the window when it's time when you tell them to forsake that animal flesh.
Now
they all run to the same scriptures.
Well, this is the thing. You're making it like it's a sin, and this is why people rebuke you with Timothy, because you're making it like it's a sin. What happened to them tassels when it came to eating the flesh? There's nothing in the Bible that says don't eat meat. It says don't be greedy upon meats. Okay, don't be a riotous eater of flesh. Okay, it don't say don't be an eater of flesh. It says don't be a riotous eater of flesh. You see?
They all run to the same twisted text to support the God of their belly, because that's who they truly worship. They love 1 Timothy chapter 4. I've
over righteous, man.
Sermon on 1 Timothy 4. Now the Spirit expressly, they think that this is talking about meat.
It is.
Now the Spirit speaking expressly that in latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils, speaking lies and hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron, forbidding to marry, and commanding to abstain from meats.
Right. And you're making it a command. That's what he's doing.
Word meats doesn't mean animal flesh, you food addicted fool.
It means whatever you eat, man. It doesn't specify what type of food. It just says the thing that we just saw it earlier, man.
Flesh loving, hamburger eating, that does not mean steak. Meats does not mean hamburger, Negro. Meats does not mean ribs. You food addicted, flesh eating, demon possessed Negroes.
See, this is the problem that we have with you, Minister of Wellness. A brother that like chicken ain't got a demon on him. A brother that want to eat a little steak don't got no demons. These things were permissible. What type of sacrifices did the Lord have? Goats, rams. They're from the beginning. The Lord likes what type of meat? What type of meat did our forefather like? He liked savory meat. Make me some savory meat. Isaac, who was Yahweh, he loved savory meat. So how you gonna get mad at somebody from liking what their forefathers like? Jake loved a little meat every now and again. Now, the scriptures give you the balance. We read it. Don't be greedy upon meats. Primarily, we were supposed, and we speak about this. Primarily, we were supposed to eat fruits and vegetables. And grains, really back then, we ate bread every day. But grains are different now. What about the scriptures that say, give us this day our daily bread? There was a daily sacrifice. Okay? The meat offering consisted of flour mingled with oil. But we can't eat flour like that nowadays. Flour's been corrupted and we got to find alternatives. So, but if we're just going from a biblical standpoint, like you started off your lesson talking about leaning out onto your own understanding, if we went strictly from a biblical standpoint, we're really supposed to eat bread every day. But guess what? You can't do that in this society. It's not healthy. Okay? It's not healthy, man. And so we just do other stuff.
Because that's what you are to me. You say you black Hebrew Israelite all you want. You're a fat, sick Negro.
We don't put black in front of it.
Christian all you want. You're a fat, sick Negro. You all turn to the same scriptures to justify eating yourself to death. You're both wrong.
Yeah, no, that's not good. Okay? Eating yourself to death is bad. There's a lot of sickness that comes from, I read it. I don't know if he's ever come across a video where brothers has read, for surfeiting turned into choler. Essentially, it goes into sickness. Okay? Eating too many dainty foods, delicious things, they fuck with you. They fuck with you, man. And fried food, it's been said by people around me and I confirm it. Fried food is the devil, man. But if every now and again you do it, you just got to understand what you're getting yourself into. I'm not going to tell a brother, if I go out with a brother and he orders some French fry, I don't know, something that's fried. He get a piece of fried chicken. I'm not going to cuss him the fuck out unless brother shouldn't be eating that. But if a brother been abstaining from, he don't typically do that. He just wanted it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to tell him, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
And it shows in your health.
All right, brothers and sisters, this is a glorious day for the Minister of Wellness Ministries here at our children's home, New Roots Children's Home. And as I promised you all, we would take our children on a field trip. This is a very important day. As you all can see, they're very, very excited. And so I thank everyone who participated in making a donation.
Some of them is excited. And you kind of see where these different people, kind of put their efforts into. How many of these children are the elect? And I get it. I get it. Right? But is this what we're here for? He's doing what the Lord's got him doing. But is this the, he's standing over here next to us, smooth face? How many of these men can grow beards? Which a lot of them are young men, can't really tell. But it's just a lot of questions. How many of these are Hamites? Maybe none of them are Hamites. I don't know. And I'm not gonna condemn you for doing charity or whatever the case is. But it's things like this that people put above, people put these things above the true work. All right. And he's not doing a bad thing, but ultimately, man, this guy, he's over righteous. He's got a super dose of zeal on him. All right. And that's the dangers of these different beliefs, man. The dangers of these different beliefs is that you you kind of cling to these different things, and you run, Jake run off a cliff with it, and all of a sudden all meat is bad, and all meat is not bad. In moderation, it can be good, but everything's corrupted here. Okay, everything's corrupted here, but at the end of the day, this is why we have our true teachers, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, to give us the balance. And these guys who don't have the name of the Lord, over righteous, soup kitchen open, it is what it is. But this is not the ministry. The ministry is preaching the gospel, okay, and sealing the elect. Not feeding all the, starving children of the world in Ethiopia and in Africa. But it is what it is, man. Everybody's doing what the Lord wants them to do. And consider yourself rebuked, man. You need to learn some balance, brother. You're too old to be all imbalanced and over righteous like that, man. But hey, like I said, keep doing what you do with the G-bombs and the helping people reverse their illnesses and all that. But you gotta chill, bro. You gotta chill. So with that, we're gonna give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Shemel Shabbat Shemar Kakadash. Double honor to the apostles, elders of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, salutations to that. Shalom with Bible Ball. Shalom.